There have been many brilliant workplace comedies on television before this show, but somehow Brooklyn Nine-Nine stands out. It is one of the best sitcoms on television with some of the best written characters on TV. They are hilarious, complex, fun, and very lovable. They have unique personalities and contributions in the show and are far more compelling and entertaining than many other sitcoms of its stature. Here's our ranking of these 15 crazy characters from worst to best. At number 15 is Michael Hitchcock. Hitchcock has to be the worst character of the show owing to not just the negligence of his job but also his perverse and misogynistic behavior.
How was the sex?
Gross.
The sex was gross or I'm gross?
You're gross.
Although his pairing with Scully lends a funny aspect to the 9-9, but he alone is the most boring character of the show. He's unbearable in almost all the seasons and his creepy nature and incompetence often becomes more irritating than funny for more times than it should. Hitchcock is the element that is problematic for the show, which is otherwise so progressive in nature. If there is something seriously wrong with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it is Michael Hitchcock. At number 14 is the Vulture. When it comes to the Vulture, he is a menace to every detective at the 9-9. Detective Pembroke is hated by everyone in the series due to his boundless selfishness, sexist comments, and general lack of human decency. He is cruel, pathetic, and he just crosses the line as he tries to break up Jake and Amy when he becomes the captain of the precinct. Stealing everyone's almost solved cases is one thing, but he goes off limits as he even tries to steal Jake and Amy's wedding venue. While Jake and Amy had many shippers, Vulture was definitely an antagonist for them. At number 13 is Madeline WUNTCH. As Holt says, WUNTCH may be equivalent to a witch, but her rivalry with Holt really spiced up the show. She brought out the worst out of Raymond Holt, but what a pleasure that was to watch. Her weird body searches, creepy smile and gloating made her a very cunning yet a very hilarious character. She slipped even low when she demoted Holt in season 6 and made him miserable. Although the Holt and WUNTCH dynamic was often fun to watch, sometimes she took it too far just to spite the captain, and that is what makes her rank so low in the list. At number 12 is Scully. Scully and Hitchcock often come as a package deal due to their general incompetence and their love for food, but Scully is definitely the better one of the duo. One quality that distinguishes him and puts him above Hitchcock is his innocence. He might be disgusting, but he's not creepy. It is also much easier to laugh at Scully's nonsensical behavior that's so often concerned with his own health rather than at the expense of another person. When Amy snaps at both of them while in labor, Scully doesn't curse the way Hitchcock does, but instead offers up their nap room, which was his idea in the first place. He has proved in small moments that he might be lazy, but he can still make efforts for others. At number 11 is Gina Linetti. Gina is a very divisive character in the show. You either like her or you don't. Her humor and self-obsession does not go very well with us because she is always trying to put everyone else down. Although her weirdness has contributed to many funny scenes, her jokes are often hit and miss. She becomes quite irritating after a point, and the way she treats Amy throughout the show is very unreasonable. One appreciable character trait about her was her loyalty towards Holt and her friendship with Jake, but even that was ruined later in the show. Her comeback episode as an internet celebrity is probably the worst episode of all the seasons. At number 10 is Adrian Pimento. Pimento is the most bizarre character in the show. He was a character we didn't know we needed and he made the show even more fun to watch. He is chaotic, violent, inappropriate and just so random, thanks to him being undercover for so many years. Pimento livens up any scenario, no matter who he is paired with. His relationship with Rosa is just a cherry on the top, and we just love everything he does. Although his screen time decreases significantly over the seasons, his special appearance always brightens up the episode he is in. At number 9 is Cheddar. Believe it or not, Cheddar is a very important character in the show. There is no Halloween heist without a fluffy Cheddar who has had multiple heist partners over the years. He is especially important for the relationship of Kevin and Holt as he is a son to them. Thanks to Cheddar, we have got the most iconic dialogue by Holt.
Wait a minute. This isn't the championship cummerbund. This is some common cummerbund. You're not Cheddar. You're just some common bitch.
At number 8 is Doug Judy. Doug Judy is a great combo. He's both Jake's arch nemesis and also his best friend. He is probably Jake's criminal alter ego, and that's why they suit so perfectly when together. He is immature, irresponsible and laid back just like Jake. In every season, we have looked forward to Pontiac Bandit's episode because he is just so entertaining. His friendship with Jake and his crooning towards Rosa has given Brooklyn Nine-Nine some of the best episodes ever. From constantly deceiving Jake to helping him catch criminals, Doug Judy is the best cameo character there can ever be. At number 7 is Kevin Costner. If there can ever be Raymond Holt's soulmate, it is Kevin Costner. Holt and Kevin are best suited for each other, and their robotic conversations with each other are so thoroughly funny. His quirky humor and emotionless exterior is a treat to watch. However robotic he may seem, he loves and cares deeply about his Raymond and is a great husband. Even though he hates cops in the beginning, he warms up towards them as the show progresses and forms friendships with them.
What is the bandwidth on the Wi-Fi here? We have much content to stream.
At number 6 is Rosa Diaz. Rosa is the coolest female character in the show, and surely no one can disagree with this fact. She wears a black leather jacket and a violent persona outside and loves Nancy Meyer's emotional films from inside. She is strong, fierce, and has one of the best character arcs in the show. She grows and becomes more lovable and relatable as the show progresses, and it is hard not to love her. Her importance as a cop in the precinct is highlighted when Holt gives her the sole responsibility of heading the task force, showing that she is no less than Jake or Amy. She becomes even more relatable after coming out to everyone about being bisexual, and her struggles make her even more human compared to the earlier seasons. Her true demeanor shines even more in the last season when she makes some pretty tough decisions when the events of Black Lives Matter are introduced in the show. Rosa Diaz is truly a badass with a golden heart. At number 5 is Amy Santiago. Amy Santiago is most oftenly teased for being a nerd and a teacher's pet, but the best thing about her is that she embraces her personality with no care at all. She doesn't care what everyone says about her because her personality is the one that has helped her to achieve the success she deserves in the show. She is a strong and brave detective who also loves and cares deeply about her friends, and her relationship with Jake is one of the best things about the show. But we love how the show does not define her from that relationship. She is her own person, an ambitious woman who wants to become captain one day and who happens to be Jake's love interest. Her competitiveness and her need for approval from Holt makes her one of the funniest characters in the show. Who doesn't love Amy's nerdy dance when she achieves something or becomes a sergeant? Her success in the show and her sheer dedication towards her job makes her one of the best detectives of the 9-9. At number 4 is Terry Jeffords. Sergeant Terry Jeffords is a great dad, both to his daughters and to his dumb work babies. He is a glue that holds the 9-9 together. His work ethic, commitment towards the 9-9 and care for his crazy detectives make him so lovable as a character. He is the person with whom everybody in the precinct can confide, even when they drive him crazy. Whenever a dumb plan needs to be stopped, Terry is the one anyone would call. He might be a strong bodybuilder from outside, but from inside, he is just a big softy who breaks down when he fails to assemble his daughter's dollhouse. We love him as much as he loves yogurt. His moral conscience of doing the right thing and standing up against the wrong makes him the perfect boss and a perfect father figure. The comedy that stems out of his physical strength and the fact he refers to himself in third person is hard to beat, and that's why he's one of the funniest characters in the show. At number 3 is Charles Boyle. The most vital trait that makes Charles Boyle stand out is his extreme loyalty towards his friends. He didn't even shy away from taking a bullet for Rosa in the very first season, and that moment defined his entire personality. He cares a great deal about his friends, and although he might come on a little too strong, but he always means well. He basically worships his friendship with Jake, but he also calls him out when he is wrong. He is the biggest shipper of the Jake and Amy relationship, and who doesn't love that about him? His over-the-top love for them and strange ways is what makes him so funny. Even though he is not physically gifted, he is still a very good detective. It was nice to see his growth as a character after being a dad, as he becomes a little less clingy and a lot more responsible as a person in the later seasons. At number 2 is Jake Peralta. It will not be wrong to say that Jake is the life of the show. He brightens up every single scene he is in with his immature and childish behavior. Terry describes him in the best possible way. He is a brilliant detective, and the only thing that he hasn't figured out yet is growing up. He is just so charming that no one ever can get mad at him. His friendship with all the others, especially Holt, is the best part of the show. The way he challenges the captain and gets him involved in his mischiefs whilst winning everyone's hearts makes him so lovable. He can be stupid or even unprofessional at times, but he is the most loyal and selfless detective underneath. He cares so deeply about each and every of his friends, and from inside, he is just a kid who wants love. He is growing and evolving more and more in every season and is learning from his mistakes whilst playing it cool. By the end, he also learns to give up the biggest dream of his life, and not in a way of a sacrifice, but because he wants to. There is no other character in the show who has shown growth quite as much as our Jake Peralta. At number 1 is Captain Raymond Holt. Raymond Holt is hands down the best character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. His robotic, no-nonsense persona is what makes him the funniest character in the show. He commands every scene he is in with utmost sincerity and strength. Jake can be the protagonist of the show, but Holt is what makes the Nine-Nine stand out. Without him, it's just all chaos. He is the embodiment of professionalism, but he also doesn't shy away from showing his fun and competitive side during the Halloween heists. His journey as a black gay cop in NYPD, the struggles, and his growth have all made the captain we see in front of us. His dry humor and inability to grasp modern human technology and his stoicism on top of his immense love for everyone in the precinct are what distinguishes him from everyone else. The only time his voice breaks down is when he has to leave the 9-9 and move to another department, and it breaks his heart as well as ours. He is a very well-rounded character who does his duties with utmost dedication, safeguards his detectives, loves and cares deeply about his husband, and doesn't shy away from being petty when it comes to MADELINE WUNTCH. There is no one else who can match the stature of Raymond Holt in the show. So this was our ranking of Brooklyn Nine-Nine characters. Let us know your ranking in the comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe.